We have more doctors, more hospitals, and more pills than ever before in history. But if you look around, you have to ask, are we really healthier? People are more stressed, anxious, and feel more lost than ever. It seems like we're missing something important. What if the real answers to healing aren't new? What if they are ancient? Imagine there were healers who could cure sickness without modern medicine. They didn't use complicated machines or pills made in a factory. They used a secret knowledge, a different kind of power that came from the earth itself. These people were the shamans. They were the original healers, and their methods are a mystery that our modern world has tried very hard to ignore. So how did they do it? How could they walk into a vast jungle and pick the one exact plant needed to stop a disease? How could they heal not just the body, but a person's deep sadness or fear? They didn't have microscopes or science labs. They had something else. They had a connection. A deep connection to nature, to spirits, and to a hidden world that most of us can no longer see. They believed that all sickness starts in the spirit, and if you can heal the spirit, the body will follow. Why isn't this knowledge more common today? Perhaps because you can't put a price on it. You can't sell a sacred ritual or patent a healing song. This knowledge was a threat to the business of medicine. So it was called primitive. It was called superstition. But the truth is, it worked. For thousands of years, it was the only thing that worked. Nowhere on Earth was this knowledge more powerful than in the ancient Americas. Before the arrival of outsiders, this entire continent was guided by this shamanic wisdom. From the Maya to the Inca, the shamans were the most important people in society. They held the secrets to life, death, and everything in between. They used sacred plants to travel to other worlds and bring back knowledge that could save their people. This series will explore their world. We are going to pull back the curtain on this lost science of healing. We will look at the tools they used, the journeys they took, and the power they commanded. If you believe there's more to healing than what we are told, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. It's time to learn the secrets that have been hidden from you. Excellent. We will now proceed to the second chapter. Here is the script for Chapter 2, continuing with the simple, direct, and provocative tone you approved. We think of time in a very simple way. It's a straight line. Yesterday is behind us, tomorrow is in front of us, and it never stops moving forward. We use calendars to mark off days and schedule our appointments. But what if this view of time is completely wrong? What if time isn't a straight line, but a circle, a spiral of repeating energies? And what if there were people who could read this spiral, who could understand the personality of each day and see the patterns of the future? Deep in the jungles of Mesoamerica, the great Maya civilization was built on this very secret. For the Maya, time was not a clock, it was a god. It was a living, breathing force. And the people who held the key to understanding this force were the Maya shamans, known as the Ajkij. This name means the daykeepers, or the counters of the day. Their job was one of the most important in the entire Maya empire. They were the keepers of cosmic order. Their main tool was something that baffles experts to this day, a sacred calendar called the Tzolk'in. This was not a calendar of 12 months like we have. It was a cycle of 260 days, made from a combination of 20-day signs and 13 numbers. To the Maya, this was not just for tracking harvests. It was a divine map of reality. Each one of the 260 days had its own unique spirit, its own energy, its own purpose. There were good days to plant, bad days to travel, powerful days to perform rituals. The Ajkij had this entire cosmic rhythm memorized. They were living, walking computers of sacred time. How did they use this knowledge? In a way that put them at the very center of Maya life. When a child was born, the parents would go to the ajkij. The shaman would look at the sacred calendar to see the energy of the day the child was born. This revealed the child's destiny, their potential strengths, their hidden weaknesses, and the challenges they would face in life. It was like a spiritual blueprint, a guide to helping that person live out their true purpose. Nothing was left to chance. But their power went even further. If a king wanted to go to war, he would consult the ajkij to find the most favorable day for victory. If a village was suffering from a drought or sickness, the ajkij would use the calendar to find which spiritual balance had been broken and what rituals were needed to fix it. They could see the threads that connected everything: the stars, the crops, the health of the people, the mood of the gods. Their job was to keep all these threads in harmony. If the harmony was broken, disaster would follow. Think about how different this is from our world. We see time as empty, as something to be filled. The Maya saw time as full of intention and spirit. For them, understanding time was the key to understanding everything else. The ajkij were not just priests, they were spiritual scientists and cosmic guides. They knew a secret that we have completely forgotten, that our lives are not random. We are part of a grand cosmic cycle. By understanding that cycle, we can understand ourselves. This was the foundation of the Maya world, a piece of hidden knowledge that allowed them to build a civilization that still fascinates us thousands of years later. They weren't just counting days, they were keeping the universe in balance. The Amazon rainforest. It is the largest jungle on Earth, with millions of species of plants, insects, and animals. To us, it looks like a beautiful but chaotic and dangerous place. But to the people who have lived there for thousands of years, the jungle is not chaos. It is a library. It is a pharmacy. And it is a temple. The secret was knowing how to read the books and open the medicine cabinets. The key to unlocking these secrets was the shaman. The Amazonian shaman was a master of plants. He saw the jungle not as a collection of green things, but as a society of intelligent spirits. He knew that every plant had a purpose, a power, and a personality. And he knew how to ask them for their help. But there was one plant, or rather a combination of two, that held the greatest power of all. It is a sacred brew that modern authorities have tried to ban and control because they cannot understand its power. It is called ayahuasca. The name ayahuasca means the vine of the soul or the vine of the dead. It is made by boiling the bark of one vine with the leaves of another shrub. Here is the first great mystery that science cannot explain. Separately, these two plants do very little. But when combined, they create one of the most powerful visionary tools on the planet. Out of more than 80,000 plant species in the Amazon, how did the ancient peoples know to combine these two specific ones? They say the plants themselves told them. This wasn't a lucky guess, it was a conversation. When a person in the village was sick, the shaman would call a ceremony. At night, in the dark, he and the patient would drink the bitter brew of ayahuasca. What happened next is hard for our modern minds to accept. The shaman's spirit would leave his body and travel into another reality. In this other world, he could see the true cause of the sickness. He would see it as a dark energy attached to the person, a spiritual dart sent by an enemy or a tangle in their soul. He didn't look at symptoms, he looked at the spiritual root of the problem. In these visions, the shaman would meet with the spirits of the plants and animals. They would teach him. A great serpent or a jaguar might appear as a guide. The mother spirit of the ayahuasca vine herself would show him what was wrong and how to fix it. To heal the patient, the shaman would sing special songs called icaros. These songs were pure medicine. They were taught to him by the spirits, and each song had a specific purpose: to cleanse, to protect, to call in a healing spirit, or to remove the dark energy and pull it out of the person's body. Our modern science calls these visions hallucinations, a trick of the brain. But for the people of the Amazon, this spirit world is more real than the world we see every day. While our doctors look at X-rays and blood tests, the shaman traveled directly to the source of the problem. Our medicine gives you a pill to numb the pain or kill a germ. The shaman's medicine was designed to pull the sickness out by its spiritual root, so it could never come back. This is a level of healing that our world has forgotten. It is a partnership between a human, a plant, and the spirit world. It is a reminder that the greatest pharmacy on earth isn't made of brick and steel, but is alive, intelligent, and waiting for us to listen. The secrets of the Amazon are not about discovering new chemicals, but about remembering how to have that sacred conversation. Of course, let's continue our journey. We now climb from the Amazon jungle to the high, windswept peaks of the Andes Mountains. Here is the script for Chapter 4. To most of us, a mountain is just a giant piece of rock. It's something to be climbed or drilled into, or maybe just looked at from a distance. But what if that's not what a mountain is at all? What if a mountain was a living being? What if it had a spirit, a consciousness, and a power that could change your life? In the Andes Mountains of South America, the highest mountain range outside of Asia, this is not a myth. It is the truth. The people who live there know that the great snow-covered peaks are not just rock and ice. They are the homes of the most powerful spirits on earth, the Apis. And the people who have always known how to speak with these mountain gods are the Andean shamans, who are called Pacos. A Paco is not just a healer. He is a priest of the living earth. He is the bridge between the human world and the spirits of the mountains. The Paco's most important and sacred tool is a plant that the modern world has completely misunderstood, the coca leaf. Today, this plant is famous because a powerful and dangerous drug is made from it. Because of this, the plant itself has been called evil. But for thousands of years in the Andes, the coca leaf was a sacred gift. It was food, it was medicine, and most importantly, it was a way to communicate with the divine. It was their sacred telephone to the spirit world. When someone has a problem, they go to the Paco. The Paco will perform a coca reading. He will take a handful of perfect coca leaves, whisper his prayers into them, and gently drop them onto a small cloth. The way the leaves fall tells a story. The Paco can read these patterns to see the person's past, understand their present problem, and see the possible paths into their future. The answers do not come from the Paco himself. They come through the leaves, directly from the Apis and from Pachamama, which means Mother Earth. The Pacos live their lives by a very simple but powerful rule called Ini. Ini means reciprocity. It means balance. The idea is that the universe is a conversation. If you take, you must also give. If the earth gives you food, you must give it thanks. Sickness, bad luck, and depression are all seen as symptoms of a broken Ini, a life that is out of balance. It means you have taken more than you have given, or you have forgotten to show gratitude. So how does a Paco heal someone? He does not focus on the body. He focuses on fixing the person's balance with the universe. The most common healing ritual is to create a beautiful offering called a despacho. The Paco will create a bundle of gifts for the spirits, sweets, flowers, grains, coca leaves, and other small items, each with a special meaning. This bundle is a gift of thanks, an apology, and a prayer to restore Ini. It is then burned or buried, sending the prayer directly to Pachamama and the Apis. Think about how different this is from our way of life. Our modern world is built on taking. We take resources from the earth, and we rarely think about giving anything back. And then we wonder why we feel so disconnected, so out of balance. The Pacos of the Andes hold a simple secret we have ignored. Healing comes from gratitude. Health comes from being in a right relationship with the world around you. It's not about what you can get, but about what you can give. This is a profound truth that has been preserved in the high mountains, far away from the noise of our modern world. Of course, let's delve into the heart of the shaman's power, the sacred plants themselves. Here is the script for Chapter 5. In our modern world, we are taught to fear certain plants. The authorities call them drugs and classify them as dangerous, illegal, and having no medical use. They are locked away, and the people who use them are often punished. But what if this story is a lie? What if these plants are not dangerous drugs, but are in fact powerful teachers, sacred medicines, and keys to unlocking the human mind? And what if the real reason they are forbidden is because they are too powerful for the system to control? These plants are called entheogens, which is a Greek word that means generating the divine within. For thousands of years, shamans have known that these were not party drugs. They were sacred tools, to be used with the deepest respect, in a ceremony with a guide. They were used to heal sickness, see the future, and speak directly with God. Let's look at some of these forbidden keys. In the deserts of Mexico and the American Southwest, a small, humble cactus grows low to the ground. It is called peyote. To the native peoples of the desert, like the Huical, this is not a plant. It is a wise and loving spirit, a divine messenger they call hikuri. Once a year, they walk for weeks on a sacred pilgrimage to find and gather the cactus. When they eat it in their ceremonies, they say it allows them to see the world as it truly is. They see the vibrant, geometric patterns that make up all of creation. They see their connection to the past, and they receive guidance for the future. It is their university, their church, and their hospital, all in one small cactus. Further south, in the damp soil of the forest floor, another sacred key emerges, especially after a lightning storm. The magic mushroom. The ancient Aztecs had a special name for it, Tiananacatl. This means the flesh of the gods. They literally believed they were eating a piece of a divine being. A famous shaman from Mexico, named Maria Sabina, shared the secret of the mushrooms with the outside world in the 1950s. She said the mushrooms gave her a divine language and allowed her to talk directly to a higher intelligence to find the cause of any sickness. The world thanked her by flooding her village, which disrupted their way of life and got her shunned by her own community. The secret was out, but the sacredness was lost. In the Andes Mountains, the same land of the Pacos, another cactus stands tall like a silent guardian. It is called San Pedro or Huachuma. For thousands of years, shamans in this region have used it as a gentle guide. They say San Pedro does not produce the intense visions of ayahuasca or peyote. Instead, it quietly opens your heart. It dissolves the feeling of being separate from everything else. A person drinking San Pedro in a ceremony might suddenly feel a deep love for the earth, for the stars, and for the people around them. It is a medicine for the sickness of disconnection, the feeling of being alone in the world. It reminds you that you are a part of everything, and everything is a part of you. Peyote, mushrooms, San Pedro. These are not drugs for escaping reality. They are tools for finding what is truly real. The ancient peoples who worked with them knew the rules. They knew that intention and respect were everything. Our modern world has banned these keys because we have forgotten the rules. We are afraid of the doors they open. Perhaps the system is afraid that if people discovered the divine within themselves, they would stop looking for power and answers from outside sources. They would realize that the kingdom of heaven is, and always has been, within. Of course, let us bring our journey to its conclusion. Here is the script for the 6th and final chapter. We have traveled far on this journey together. We walked with the Maya Ajkaj, who could read the sacred map of time. We sat in ceremony with the Amazonian healers, who traveled to the spirit world with the help of ayahuasca. We climbed to the high peaks to learn from the Andean Pacos, who speak with the mountain gods and heal with the power of gratitude. Each tradition is different, yet they all share one powerful central truth. The world we see with our eyes is not the only world there is. So you have to ask the question, if this knowledge was so powerful and so effective for thousands of years, where did it all go? Why do we live in a world that has forgotten it all? The hard truth is that this wisdom was not lost by accident. It was deliberately attacked and suppressed. When invaders came to the Americas, they saw the shaman's power as a threat to their control. They called it the work of the devil. They burned the sacred books. They punished the people who practiced the ancient ways. Later, a new kind of power arrived, modern science. It told us that anything that couldn't be measured in a lab was not real. The spirit world, the power of plants, the idea of a living earth, it was all dismissed as childish superstition. It was easier to call the shamans crazy than to admit they knew things that our new science couldn't explain. A world full of people who can heal themselves, who can find their own answers, and who get their power from the earth is a world that is very difficult to control. It's much easier to sell people pills and promises if they believe they are powerless and disconnected. But this ancient knowledge is like a seed. You can bury it, but you can never truly destroy it. For hundreds of years, it survived. It was passed down in secret, in quiet ceremonies, in remote villages, far away from the eyes of the modern world. The songs were still sung, the rituals were still performed, and the connection to the spirit world was kept alive by a few brave souls. And today, something remarkable is happening. The world is waking up. More and more people are realizing that our modern way of life, with all its technology and all its medicines, is missing something vital. We are feeling the sickness of a broken connection to nature and to our own spirit. And as we search for answers, we are beginning to hear the ancient echoes of the shaman. The seeds that were buried for so long are beginning to sprout again. The greatest legacy the shamans offer us is a simple and powerful truth. You are not separate from the world around you. The earth is your mother, not a resource. The plants are your teachers, not just objects. The power to heal and to find your purpose is not out there somewhere. It is your natural birthright. You only need to learn how to listen again to the voice of the earth and to the voice of your own soul. This journey we have taken is just the beginning. There are so many more secrets to uncover and so much more wisdom to reclaim. If you feel the truth in this message, if you want to continue exploring the hidden knowledge that has been kept from you, then our journey together does not have to end. Subscribe to our channel and become part of a community that is seeking a deeper truth. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. The great remembering has begun.